I'm Jerry Springer. The world changed, so we shouldn't be surprised that our colleges did too. We'll talk about it.
The plane was 31,000 feet in the air when it caught fire. The pilot made a perfect landing. The president of the local Teamsters Union in Cincinnati in northern Kentucky is warning trucking companies to send trucks out in convoys after midnight on Monday.
This is Jerry Springer, as he was known to Cincinnatians throughout the 80s, local news anchor. Here's how he got there.
From office to City Hall, and from newsman to television.
I white-knuckled for about a year with him, hoping that he could finish out the sentence before the teleprompter went down.
Over the next 10 years, progress in the case of Bunsen versus the Board of Education.
Could you hold up something white for me, Jerry?
Something white.
Well, you've seen them advertised in newspaper inserts and on television sets. No, not television sets. You've seen them advertised in these newspaper inserts and on television. Hi. Hi. I'm totally expensive. I'll do it again.
Happening in New Hampshire today. What do you have for us there? Well, Jerry, can you hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Okay, apparently we're having a little audio difficulty, Jerry.
I am not God, nor am I a theologian.
Prove otherwise, especially in the early years. One of his first assignments was the 1984 Democratic Convention.
When you were a kid, did you ever, and you were watching the conventions, did you ever think there'd come a time when you would stand before the American people and say, Ohio, cast its vote?
No. I was thinking that maybe you'd be doing it.
Jerry had found his calling.
I just have to look good. Whoever said underwear has to be white anyhow.
Oh, no! Michael Collins, News 5 Tonight.
Oh, poor big boy.
Coming up.
One of us had a do-over 4 times. Michael Collins, News 5 Tonight.
That's pretty good for Mike.
And he had to have somebody in the back of the alley knocking down all those pins.
Yeah. Well, we're going to work on our bowling this weekend, and you have a very nice vacation.
You're losing what?
He's not here, of course, to celebrate his 50th birthday. He wouldn't have been if no one had the chance to see that. Our defiance, our youth, our naivety, and our vulnerability. What we remember most about Elvis is not the fact that he died, but we are reminded about the fact of when he was young and when he was young. We'll always remember Elvis. Norma?
Despite his rough times, WLWT became the #1 news program in Cincinnati.
Because I was doing the news, I couldn't very well be dancing with the Chippendales in the afternoon if I was going to be doing serious news at night.
During the 80s, Springer was a well-respected local journalist who traveled worldwide for serious stories.
I'm Jerry Springer, and this is famine-stricken Ethiopia. Tonight on News 5...
Now, while doubting him...
Eastsiders meet over benzene spill. Reactions at 11.
This is an update from News 5.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Springer.
And I'm Norma Rashid. Residents surrounding that benzene leak last week at the Queen City terminals got together tonight, and even though the spill is gone, their hard feelings about the problem aren't.
And the city and the Cincinnati Reds have come to terms. No lawsuit, just some compromises.
And more lawsuits will be filed at the NLO plant in Fernald.
We'll have all the news, weather, and sports tonight at 11 on News 5.
This news.
Good evening. The message tonight from the folks who live and work in the east end of Cincinnati was loud and clear. No more benzene, period. During a packed meeting, the Columbia-Tusculum Community Council said it would no longer abide by the agreement which allowed Queen City terminals to bring the poisonous chemical into their community. That after last Thursday's leak of benzene during the very first shipment to the area. News 5's Toria Hamill says that leak is far from forgotten by those who live nearby.
It was supposed to be a night of questions, but...
Now, if you'd like to live down here, with benzene right next door.
Toria Hamill, News 5 Tonight.
Cincinnati City Council is also highly critical of the benzene shipments into Queen City terminals. In council chambers today, there was not only criticism of the benzene shipments themselves, but also at the city's shortcomings in handling a toxic spill. Good evening, I'm Jerry Springer. The sale of Homestate is on shaky grounds. Chemical Bank says the $91 million proposed state contribution just isn't enough. We'll have a full report.
Also, it seems as if everyone has a point of view on the Commissioner of Baseball's suggestion that drug testing be for all the players as well as the owners. We'll have a report on that. And Dave Robinson takes a look at Cincinnati softball and Norma Cincinnati Vice. We'll have all the news tonight at 11. Please join us. Good evening. Tonight, a question is being asked in boardrooms and ballparks across the nation. Just how bad is the cocaine problem in Major League Baseball? Well, the commissioner of that sport says an investigation into drug use in Pittsburgh is likely to reveal information so serious that it's likely to damage the game. And in response, he wants everyone in baseball to undergo mandatory drug testing. Today, reaction to that announcement ranged from applause to outrage. Ironically, the big league players themselves are now exempt from the commissioner's order. That's because of a contract between the players and the owners. As for the players' union, a spokesman today said he didn't think the testing was needed, adding the cocaine problem is no worse in baseball than any other business. And it was just that drug, cocaine, that police found in huge quantities in South Florida today. In fact, it might be the largest bust ever. 2 tons of the white powder with a street value of about $2 billion. 1,900 pounds of cocaine were taken from a speedboat ditched in Miami's Biscayne Bay today. It had been chased by the Coast Guard. 3 men fled in the boat. 1 is in custody. And in Florida City, 2,100 pounds were seized in a mobile home, stopped for a minor traffic violation. It's not known if the drug shipments were related. Is striking baseball's national pastime? Commentary tonight. Good evening. It's the day after, where yesterday we learned the medical facts, the unsettling reality that the growth removed from the president's colon was indeed cancerous. Today we learned the human side of it all, the first family's reaction to the news.